Testing. Can you all hear me? Let's see. Camera. Okay, hold on. Let me switch to my giving me issues before. Are we here? Are we live? Let's see. Let me know if you could hear me and see me because of course it's Friday and things are going to give me, some grief, but we're working with it. Awesome. Thank you all so much for your patience, and I can't believe I left you with that music for that long. Um, thanks for bearing with me. Happy Friday, everyone. We're going to get this party started in 1 second. Hope all of you are having an awesome week. We have a lot to discuss. Yay! Okay, Michelle can hear me. This happened to me yesterday. Suddenly my speakers and my mic both go out. And it was working, and then it gave me a message saying, "Just kidding, no it's not." And the only thing that fixes it is a restart. So, we'll make it work. Okay. So, jumping right in. Hey Rachel, I'm Rapali. You all are awesome for hanging out. Rob from the UK. Great to see all of you again, as always. Let me just stretch this out. We need full screen. Okay. You all know the spiel by now, but if you are just joining for the first time, my name is Brienne Fleming, and welcome to Pop Chat. We are going to discuss this week's trending topics and the marketing lessons behind them. So, I live in South Florida. I teach branding and social media at the University of Florida. I host a podcast called Making the Brand, and I'm obsessed with the Backstreet Boys, as you can see. So, fangirl, marketer, all the things, and host of Pop Chat. So, if you haven't already, please go ahead and tell us who you are and where you're joining from. Again, we see some familiar faces. Tony's here. Michelle is here. Thank you for verifying that everything is working. It is cold in Florida today. Not quite 48 degrees where I am, Chris, but glad you are indoors for us. I know sometimes you take a lunchtime walk during Pop Chat, but it's probably best to stay inside today. Good to see all of you. And if you're unfamiliar with Pop Chat, it is a fun place, like I said, where marketing, pop culture come together. And it's a place for community and connection with other marketers, creators, social media managers. And we just need Dakota. I think everyone pictured on this slide is here, except Dakota, who was my day one Pop Chat participant. He's been quite busy these days. Anne is cold in New York. Yes, I get it. How is it in Newport? I'm Rapali. Yes, freezing. Freezing. I am wearing like fuzzy slippers right now because my feet are cold. Okay, so how it works, like I've said before, there is no main authority here, no matter what your background is. If you are an entry-level marketer, if you've been in the game for years, we celebrate and appreciate all perspectives here. So share your thoughts, reply to others, connect, and have fun. Yes, you're going to need that Pop Chat hoodie. Bundle up. Hey, Christian. I know. I bet Atlanta's cold. Has it snowed in Atlanta yet this year? I know it's always, it's always major news when it snows in Atlanta. Yay. Anthony at LinkedIn, Tony from Twitter. Yes. Anthony is here. Fuzzy slippers are a must. Rob, so happy to have you back. Kevin, it got up to 50 in Seattle, so I'm ripping up sod in my backyard. Okay, that's warm. That's warm for you. Good for some yard work. Okay, so my icebreaker today is a little bit different. It's kind of like a normal Pop Chat question, but it's a good little icebreaker to help us get to know each other. Have you all seen this "I met my younger self for coffee" meme? If you haven't, it is still going. It started, as you can see, in February 2025, so hot off the press. A poet named Janae Cecilia shared a video on TikTok with a poem saying she met her younger self for coffee. And you can see It went viral in the following weeks, inspiring videos in which TikTokers write captions about going to coffee with and talking to their younger selves. Some of the videos use the format to joke about ways they have or have not changed, while others are more serious, using the format to discuss more impactful changes in their lives. So I'm going to ask you to tell me what you would say to your younger self if you were to meet you for coffee. But here's a quick little look at the full poem that Janae posted. Right off the bat, I love it. I met my younger self for coffee at 10:15. She was late, I was early, just as with age, we're getting a little more responsible, and just talking about things that she would say to her younger self. So, if you met your younger self for coffee, what is one thing you would say? It could be deep and reflective. It could be funny. Let me know. I'll give you a second. Anthony says, no, but I started this reflection in therapy about it and curious what it would be like to see a former and future me. Yeah, I think about that Brad Paisley song, if we have any country fans, uh, called Letter to Me. And the whole song is about him writing himself a letter to 17-year-old me. Younger to Anthony was late. Now you make resis. Yes. What would I tell my younger self? I even saw this question coming and I wasn't quite sure what to say. I think I would tell my younger self that you'll develop thicker skin. I think when I was younger, I let even the little things get to me. And I think only recently I'm becoming a little more unapologetic. So that's probably what I would tell my younger self. Rapali, everything that happens is part of your journey. Don't compare yourself to others. Enjoy the ride, especially the twists and turns. You're going to be all right. This is beautiful. I love that. This is something we all can appreciate hearing. Rob says, don't believe the limitations others will try and put in place for you. You can do anything you want. Absolutely. Absolutely. Rob, I hope you're doing everything that you wanted. We were both late, but I told her we got that official ADHD diagnosis and our brain will be much happier. Yes, we love answers and clarity. I would also tell my younger self that the Backstreet Boys are still on tour. You're still getting new music. She would be obsessed. Somewhat dark. Okay, we can go there. I would tell my younger self that the agency won't care that you'd worked throughout the pandemic. They're still going to cut you. So seek jobs early and often. Yeah, I think I would tell myself something similar that, that's what you thought was a dream job can also let you down. Um, and to seek jobs not just for a fancy job title or a big brand name, but to look for the culture and the people. And that's really what would make you happy. That's so piggybacking on what you said, Kevin. Lathan, depends on how young, but I think I'm in a good place. So I would tell myself to enjoy the little things and keep my passion, maybe encourage them to ask out that girl or travel more often. Yes, there's still plenty of time to travel. I would tell my younger self that her intuition is better than she thinks and that adults don't always know the answer. That is true. That is so even old and wise isn't always isn't always the case. We can have, some clarity on things and some good perspectives even when we're younger. Okay, keep thinking on this. I love these answers so far, everyone, but if you haven't seen this meme, check it out on TikTok. It's trending and like I said, some of them have been humorous and some have been a little bit more serious. Yeah, piggybacking off Kevin's, I love this. I would tell myself to find fulfillment in my life and not my job. Amen to that. Amen to that. I am trying to appreciate that as well and find pride in more things that are not just career accomplishments. So, okay, let's do a little bit of a deep dive in today in pop culture history. We've got famous birthdays. Okay, every guy wanted to date her. Every girl wanted to be her. Jennifer Love Hewitt is 46 today. But we're going to throw it back to 90s Jennifer Love Hewitt. Still an icon. Joe Alwyn, controversial, Taylor Swift's ex-boyfriend, who I think is going to be at the Oscars this weekend. Did I read that right? So that should be interesting. He's 34. And Sophie Turner is 29. Also, pop culture rewind. This week in 1999, we got the real Slim Shady. The Slim Shady LP was released, and it's kind of interesting to see how Eminem had this alter ego and how he played with that in his career. I don't know about you, but I had no business listening to this as young as I was. I have an older brother who was maybe 14, 15 listening to this, and then I listened to it just through him because it was just on in the house. We both probably had no business listening to this album, but there you go. Ooh, I want to hear Chris's answer. When you're at a job and someone asks you a question, don't freeze up or make a ridiculous stab just because you don't have the answer. Say, good question, and ask to think about it. And if pressed for a number, give a reasonable range. Nobody is going to judge you because you don't know the exact answer. Yes, I can relate to this. Learning to say, I don't know, also is an answer, especially since I teach. Sometimes my students ask me questions, and there are some that I don't know the answer to. And I think it shows a lot and shows a lot of confidence to say you don't know and to think about it and to find the answer. Thank you for sharing that, Chris. Jennifer Love Hewitt, I dressed as Special K from Can't Hardly Wait for Halloween. Kevin, you always have a story, and I love it. That is awesome. Okay, trending topics this week. What did we think about this? It was all over the news. Hot takes. I want to hear them all. Blake and Ryan at SNL 50. What did we think? I've heard they've both hosted SNL. I kind of thought they were out of place, even independent of the scandal or the lawsuit and all of that. And I'm contemplating if their PR team told them it would be a good move. Do we think it hurt them? Do we think it helped them? Should they just stay out of the spotlight right now? What are your initial reactions to seeing Blake and Ryan? I will say Blake looks amazing, at least. She always looks great. I loved her dress. In case you missed it, they attended the SNL 50 celebration, and during this little bit with Tina Fey and Amy Poehler, they were taking audience questions, and they took one from Ryan Reynolds, and they said, "Oh, Ryan Reynolds is in the audience. How are you?" And he said, "Oh, I'm great. Why? What have you heard?" And there were a lot of different reactions to this. So I'm curious what your thoughts are. They used humor. So when may it be appropriate to use humor through a crisis? Did this bother you? Did you think it was a bad move? What would you have done if you were in his shoes? Was it a good look? Let me know what you're thinking. I'll give you a second to answer this. That's a good point. Lathan says, I'm sure they were invited before all of this, and you don't say no to the SNL invite. I don't think this will change anything since they're always in the spotlight. I think it was fine for them to attend, and I thought Ryan was quick on his feet. I heard that line by Ryan was different than the one from rehearsal. Ooh, that's some good tea, Lathan. I'll have to look that up. Oh, Rob, thanks for coming. No worries. I did not hear that. This rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. I don't know. I feel like it was the elephant in the room, and if he didn't address it somehow, it just would have been even more awkward. I'm sure people would have said it was insensitive or something to not, to not acknowledge it. I don't know. And I don't have the brain capacity for this drama, but the comments along the lines of Ryan showing up to his ex-wife's husband's place of work is out of line. His ex-wife's husband's place of work. Oh, Scarlett Johansson's. Oh, I see what we're doing here. Yeah, Ryan and Scarlett, they were married, right? I didn't know if they just dated. To his ex-wife's husband's place of work is out of line, which would be fair if that work wasn't SNL. Imagine if everyone in Hollywood had to avoid anywhere an ex worked. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Hopefully they could just avoid each other. There might have been some awkward things going on. And I'm sure Colin Jost is fine with it because he got the girl. So yeah, I think it leans into his jokey Deadpool persona, so that's fine. I didn't mind it because of the nature of the joke, just saying, why, what have you heard? Like, he didn't get into specifics. He didn't make any acknowledgement about Justin in particular, or like, he didn't go too on topic. It was just like, oh, why? What have you heard? And just kept it kind of open-ended. I thought that was okay. Did not care that they were at SNL 50 in terms of use of humor. Humor helps us at times find a moment to have peace or take a break from something. We need to laugh at ourselves sometimes, even when we are hurt. I tend to agree. And I think it's different too with people versus brands. But what do you think? Do you think this joke was appropriate? As far as Ryan Reynolds goes, using humor is his go-to. It'd be weirder if he was super serious. Yeah. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. So, for brands, though, when may it be appropriate to use humor through a crisis? Is it ever? Is it appropriate on a personal note? Is it appropriate for a brand? I actually have an example from 2021 while you all are still, while you're noodling on this. Does anyone remember this in 2021? HBO Max, or no, it was HBO Max at the time, accidentally sent out an empty test email to their entire user base. And they tweeted this. They said, "We mistakenly sent out an empty test email to a portion of our HBO Max mailing list this evening. We apologize for the inconvenience. And as the jokes pile up, yes, it was the intern. No, really. And we're helping them through it." So I kind of like this. It was human. They were like, no, really, it was the intern. And it probably was, for them to say that, or I hope it was. And I thought this was appropriate. Benjamin thinks it wasn't the time or the place for Blake or Ryan. Care to elaborate? Chris says you need to pick your moments to use humor during a crisis, but if you're really good at reading the room and can sense that things are cooler, a single remark can break the tension. I think that's very important to read the room, and it's hard because reading the room, it's so subjective. You just gotta kind of get a feel for things and make a judgment call. So I think it depends. Yeah, I do think it depends on the crisis. Some brands actually work with humor, but depending on the severity, yes, humor may just not be appropriate at all. And yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head, Benjamin. I mean, here with Blake and Justin, like, the allegations are pretty serious. Um, we're here. I hit the back button. It is really a Friday, isn't it? Let me go back to sharing my screen here. La 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 la. Okay, we're back. Um, So, yeah, Kevin says he's got a good example. A client had a bad news cycle. We developed a response that completely ignored the cycle, attacked the competitor, and got Jim Cramer drunk, which helped to overcome the negatives. See, like I said, Kevin, you always have a story. So I love that. Michelle, I'm sorry if this is showing up late, but you would tell your younger self, um, yeah, you would do a little, you would have the inside scoop on some stocks and invest in, yeah, invest in Pinterest or whatever it is. Good call. That is too funny. Rachel says humor in a crisis is useful when it's a quick flash for a low level crisis. If a brand wants to poke fun at themselves when something goes awry, it needs to be on level with the issue. Saying, oops, sorry, we crashed, forgot coffee is way different than, oops, we lost your data, magnifying glass emoji. Yes, I think that's right. There should be some type of scale or just some type of understanding on the level, and making sure that the humor is commensurate. Yeah, the back button is such a jerk. I did it with my mouse though. That's what was tricky with the shortcut. So we're here. We're back. Okay. Now, Switching gears a little bit, we've got Kim K. We have to talk about her. She has teamed up with Nike. And what's interesting is this isn't really a partnership, it's a whole new brand called NikeSKIMS. So Nike is teaming up with Kim Kardashian's to launch a line of new activewear as the legacy sneaker giant looks to win over more women and better compete with Alo Yoga, Lululemon, and Vuori. You know what? I think I get so many of these comments late. Yes, Jennifer Love Hewitt, we love her. No pun intended. I wish my middle name was Love. But yes. So if it ever seems like I'm ignoring some of you, I'm sorry that some of these show up delayed. So Nike is trying to compete with the Lululemons, the Alo Yogas, the Vuoris, all the ones that have market share with women. And this CNBC quote was interesting. It says Nike has said previously that 40% of its customers are women, but most apparel brands prefer to have more female customers than male because they tend to shop more and spend more on clothes. Guilty. Plus, this gender gap has allowed Nike's competitors to get a foothold in the athletic apparel business, which could be a growth opportunity for the sneaker giant. Ladies, do we feel like this is true? Do you own any activewear from Nike? As far as me, I've only really gotten sneakers from them. I haven't really, I never get targeted for ads, but I get Alo ads all the time with like cute little workout sets and stuff. So I think this is about time. I think they needed to do this actually. My favorite irony is Kim partnered with Nike, which is the main competitor of Adidas, who partnered. Yes. They parted ways for sure. Man, I know. And you know what? I was thinking about this too, Lathan, and I think it's very intentional. Like, Kim didn't want to like sell Skims to Nike. Like, it's almost like they're competing of who needs who more. And I think Nike needs Kim more, and she wants to have the upper hand and not just be like, here, Nike, you can license Skims, or you can have my, my formula for your apparel wear or active wear. I think they both wanted like equal visibility and to, help each other build brand awareness. So I think if they would have tried a whole new name, or if they didn't combine it, it wouldn't have put the spotlight on both brands equally. But yeah, at first I was like, they couldn't come up with anything better than NikeSKIMS, but they have kind of the legacy in their name. Yeah, I never thought Nike would ever need to compete with anybody, but this collab makes sense though. Hey, Justin. Yeah, that was my thought exactly too. Like, I didn't realize that Nike had this kind of hole in the market, but come to think of it, I think it's very true. And it's all my research was saying that they haven't innovated in a while. In fact, this article on CNN said Nike is in a slump. It's hired Kim Kardashian to help. Can you imagine? Like, Nike. We're talking about Nike, and Kim Kardashian is swooping in to help Nike. Let's see. Corey's here. Hey, if you teach fitness classes like I do, you can often get a discount on different fitness brands. So my closet is full of whatever fitness program discount is the cheapest. Good for you, Corey. I love that for you. And you teach, what do you teach? Do you teach aerial yoga? Did I know that about you? Am I making that up? Yeah, what do you think Kim would say if she had coffee with her younger self? That she'd be going to the White House and giving lectures at Harvard and having a partnership with Nike? It's insane. Yeah. I don't know. People hate on her so much, but I respect Kim Kardashian. There, I said it. Aerial dance. Yay, that is awesome. Okay, so let's talk about any brand that's in a slump. When a brand is in a slump, what's the first step it should make to turn things around? What is one of the first things you would do? Let me just read this quote here. Yeah, Nike's in a slump. Sales are down. Its stock has lost more than a quarter of its value over the past year, and its new CEO needs some help turning around the aging athletic company. Enter Kim Kardashian. Man, Kevin's back with his stories and experience. I once had to write a briefing backgrounder for Kim when she was appearing on Conan, which was weird. I bet there's more to this. Kim was great at SNL 50. Yes, speaking of more awkward exes, so yeah, Kim and Pete Davidson had to cross paths, but I think they ended amicably and pretty well. So, but yeah, what are we doing if a brand is in a slump? How do we turn this around? What's the first step? Give us the answers. Wish we had a crystal ball to solve all these problems and foresee them all. Ooh, Rachel, good callback. That's also why Nike did their first Super Bowl ad in like 30 years. They're trying to get back out there as an innovator, which they used to be known for. Yeah, and Rachel, you know this. I mean, not only did they do a Super Bowl ad, but it was targeted toward women. Like they're really after us now. Amrapali says, identify where you started sliding, research your data of what was going on and dig for the why. Find your identity and check where your audience is. Yeah, it's all about the research. And what's interesting to me is it's always like know your audience. And I feel like Nike could have easily said, no, our target is maybe the male athlete, like, the Michael Jordans and, all of that branding that they did earlier on. And maybe they, it's some brands target men, some brands target women, and that's their main audience. But I think Nike is one of those brands that can definitely appeal to both and maybe even equally. So it just makes me question everything I know about marketing when it's like, know your audience, you're targeting this specific person. It's like, no, we're not. Like you could be targeting, an NBA player and also, a WNBA player. How does that differ? There's just so many elements to Nike in particular. I feel like what most brands do is the opposite of what many should do. Ideally, you find your biggest fans and engage them to figure out what they want more of. But it feels like a lot of times they try to deep pivot and we end up with new Coke. Dating myself here. Yeah. Ideally, you find your biggest fans and engage them to figure out what they want more of. But it feels like a lot of times they try to deep pivot. Yeah. I don't know. Are they having an identity crisis here? I approach slumps from the compete aspect. So it's easier for a slumping company that's in third place to attack the others, but it's much harder for a slumping brand leader. Ooh, yeah, that's interesting. You might hear about Nike's competitors in a slump, but Nike is like, who's bigger than Nike? Sima's here. Hi. Yeah. So it's a little concerning when like the top dog, the shoe dog, if you will, is in a slump. Lathan says, open your ears and your social media, listen to your customers and especially non-customers to see what problems you can solve and where you can reach them in a memorable way and reintroduce yourself to people. Yeah. And I think what's interesting about Nike is they are targeting people who, where the gap is. They're not their customers. They're all the women are going elsewhere apparently. So it's like they probably researched these other brands and saw where all the women were going and said, hey, those should be our customers. So instead of listening to the women, they went to where the women were already shopping and then kind of turned things around. So yeah, listen to your customers, but they had such a gap to begin with. They were stealing customers now from these other brands. We'll have to see how things go. Rachel says, this is boring, but you need to do a focus group. Yes. If you're a brand that's fallen off, it might be hard to hear, but those folks are going to be honest data points that speak louder than charts and click metrics. It boggles my mind how often brands make decisions without talking to people, talking to that ideal customer. So yeah, boring is best. We need more boring, I guess. Speaking of humor, and please continue this discussion if you have more thoughts, but like we said, Nike is trying to compete with Aloe, and this was hilarious. Shout out to comments by celebs for sharing the screenshot. But Kris Jenner is in her aloe tracksuit, all branded out, and tag the brand and everything. And this was on the day that Kim announced NikeSKIMS. So she said, "Did you really have to post this on the same day as my NikeSKIMS announcement?" Hilarious. If you're already the top dog, you don't know where to go. If you're climbing, you have something to shoot for, keeping you competitive. It's why 4-star hotels are frequently better than 5. Ooh, I like that. Yeah, if you're climbing, you have something to shoot for to keep you competitive. It's almost more remarkable. And you sometimes want to root for the underdog, even when you're shopping. No way HBO doesn't have an approval process. We've got to go back to that. When in a slump, look to the data and listen to what your customers are saying. Chances are good that you've made some product first decisions based mostly or all on your brand's internal view of your experience. Yeah, that's well said. Instead of being product first, you need to be customer first. Sima is back. I agree. They need to listen and learn. They can't alienate their existing customer base while trying to target new audiences, and consider having more targeted campaigns when trying to explore new audiences. Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think as a woman if I've always felt like Nike was for men, you know? And are they going to alienate men by doing this? I don't think so. I mean, they have apparel for women, but just not it's not as good as what the other brands are doing, in my opinion. I haven't really seen much. So yeah, we'll see if they could be if they could do both. I'd reassess your audience's needs. Pain points could change and you're not tackling them. Yes, well said. So we'll see. Will Kim Kardashian save the day? Who knows? I'm sure we'll find out on Keeping Up with the Kardashians because she documents everything. Okay, now we've got Meghan Markle. She has renamed her lifestyle brand. It used to be called American Riviera Orchard. And now she said it's called As Ever. And there's already backlash. Like they're saying that there's already a brand called As Ever. It's a clothing company. People are criticizing her logo, saying she copied that, all kinds of things. But here is the homepage for it, just to check it out. It's her lifestyle brand. She's also got her new Netflix show With Love, Meghan, coming out that she ended up postponing because of the fires in California, the Palisades fires. So a little bit of rebranding in that period. And, she changed the name, and it makes me wonder, how much weight does a brand name really carry, and what matters most to consumers? How much does the name matter? Could she have gone on with the existing name? I'm curious. I do like that As Ever is simpler than American Riviera Orchard. That's kind of a mouthful. But, sounds like a Hallmark Channel movie. That is right. I can see it now. There's backlash to everything she does. She breathes and there's backlash. It's insane. I've never seen anything like it. And I've been a Britney fan my whole life. Like they always find a way to come for this woman. I've seen actual hate accounts just dedicated to annihilating her for whatever reason. No one asked, but that font is a terrible choice. Let's go back. The As Ever font, we hate it. A little too fine, maybe. Doesn't translate well. Please tell me more, Rachel. Love to hear your thoughts. For anyone wondering, Meghan Markle is the person who starred on Suits. Are you like kind of joking here, Kevin? I mean, I know she did. In case you haven't heard of her, yes, I get it. Okay, I get it now. In case you haven't heard of Meghan Markle, she's that girl from Suits. Which, is anyone watching Suits LA? Let me know. Lathan says names matter a lot. It has to be memorable, and and be an extension to the brand's identity or purpose. Everyone points out the Googles, chapsticks, and Kleenexes of the world. Yeah, and the Band-Aids. I also learned Popsicle is a brand. You can't just call anything a popsicle. So, yeah, those are some great examples. Christian says from an SEO perspective, brand has started to be a bigger deal as people search for and trust brands they already know. Yeah, I wonder if as ever, I mean, yeah, from an SEO perspective, that's probably a little bit harder to compete with than something as distinctive as American Riviera Orchard. I love that you're thinking with your SEO hat on, Christian. Let me know if you have more thoughts on that. Yeah, she can do no right. It's ridiculous. Should have been something like Sparkle with Meghan Markle. I gotta say, I like that, Michelle. A plus. Far too much effort. People really do need to touch grass. And you notice that mm, so much of the time that people spend, or the people that do leave hateful comments on everything, they're always anonymous. It's like, okay, keyboard warrior, show yourself. Amrapali says, depending on what the purpose of the brand is, the name does have meaning and weight. While the new name is simpler, I'm not sure what her lifestyle brand is supposed to represent. I thought of a playground rhyme when you first said as ever. Yeah. And then, she's got the TV show also, or the Netflix show with Love Megan. There's like a lot of different things floating around. There's been studies that have stated that Gen Z and younger don't know how to read cursive, so the font might not be the best choice. Ooh, yes. Elaborating on fonts. Yeah, too slim for a screen, particularly the stylized capital A, and the spacing of the letters is cramped even for script. We need more designers, you know, you doing this and telling her these things. Rollerblade is the sneakiest brand name identification. That's a brand? Oh, yeah, 'cause they're just inline skates, right? Interesting. In this case, the brand name isn't going to matter as much because it's still just going to be referred to as Meghan Markle's company, and it's still probably going to be criticized no matter what, unfortunately. All right. Keep sounding off on this if you have thoughts or if you want to vent about the font. This is a safe space for that too. But yeah, I like Michelle's idea. Maybe she'll rebrand it again. Sparkle with Meghan Markle. All right, I don't have questions on this, but just hot off the press, Beyonce is doing an exclusive partnership with Ulta Beauty with her hair care line Sacred. So look out for that. She just announced it coming April 6th. And also hot off the press for the baseball fans in the room, this is an iconic change to my understanding. The New York Yankees are updating their facial hair policy and they are letting their players have facial hair. Their general partner, Hal Steinbrenner, says, in recent weeks, I've spoken to a large number of former and current Yankees to elicit their perspective of our longstanding facial hair and grooming policy. These most recent conversations are an extension of an ongoing internal dialogue that dates back several years. Ultimately, the final decision rests with me, and after great consideration, we will be amending our expectations to allow our players and uniform personnel to have well-groomed beards moving forward. Long live the beard, I guess. It is the appropriate time to move beyond the familiar comfort of our former policy. You know, I appreciate that. It did seem a little antiquated to have that policy. Let me know your thoughts here. Any Yankees fans? Justin, who are we talking about here? Is this Nike still? A brand name carries so much weight, especially today with so much communication and text. Something like as ever is ripe for parody and ridiculousness. We're gonna see the SNL skit, aren't we? I wrote a column in 2007 about how cursive comes from curse for a reason. We're gonna have to see that, Kevin. Dig it out of the archives. Wow, and I thought theme parks were delayed in letting people have facial hair. Michelle and my Florida girls, is this still a policy at Publix? I know that you couldn't have facial hair to work at Publix, which is very different than being a Yankee, but seems like some brands are still doing this. Yeah. So that's that. There's your little weekend update. And it's Feel Good Friday. Please tell me some good news. Let's light up this little comment section with anything personal or professional that you want to celebrate, any shout outs that you want to give. There's a product you want to recommend. We're all ears. Let us know. My Feel Good Friday, let's see. I did get Backstreet Boys tickets to Vegas, so I'm going. Also, something cute. Today, we're taking my daughter to get her passport, to get her little passport picture taken. I'm dying. It's gonna be so cute. So tell me your fun things. What's going on? Michelle, I didn't know that about Publix. I'll have to see the next time I go. Yeah, they might have changed it, but I did know that at one point. Now I'm gonna have to take a closer look at all the bag boys and stuff. Oh, yes, our resident baseball expert, Anthony, took them the Yankees long enough. It felt weird for a team, a baseball team, as it's a sport and not a finance company. Yeah, who is it bothering? You know? Belated birthday. Amrapali, did I miss your birthday? No. Right? Did I? If I did, I'm terribly sorry. Happy birthday. Uh, Anne Marie, I took the first steps without any crutches. I forgot you're on crutches. Still got the walking boot, but progress. That is progress. I got tickets for Kelly Clarkson's show in Atlantic City. Funny you mentioned that, Sima, because like I said, I got Backstreet Boys tickets in Vegas, and Kelly Clarkson is there at the same time. And my friend doesn't know it yet, but I'm going to peer pressure her to get Kelly Clarkson tickets too. Wish me luck. When's the show? That's going to be fun. Christian, you have a travel blog. Pass 1,000 clicks from Google search within 28 days for the first time. You know, isn't it great when an SEO expert starts a blog? That's pretty handy. Yay! My kids are finally out in school after 7 days out due to cold weather. All the snow days, something I, as a Florida girl, cannot relate to. Oh, good. Keep the birthday stuff going. Cursive into non-cursive. Lathan, yours was yesterday? I'm sorry. Happy birthday, Lathan. I need like a fun little happy birthday sound. I'm so sorry I missed it. Please let us know how you're celebrating. And wait, hold on. Michelle, isn't your birthday in February? Did I miss yours too? What is going on? This is mom brain. I'm sorry, everyone. I really need LinkedIn to have a birthday feature. Happy birthday to all. Couple shows in Atlantic City in May. Oh, that's awesome. I would love to see Kelly Clarkson live. Okay, let's wrap up with some industry news. This next one is inspired by Hootsuite. They had an interesting post and posed a great question. Carousels or reels? Which ones are you prioritizing this year, social media managers? They used the scene from The Notebook where Ryan Gosling's like, "What do you want?" And Rachel McAdams is like, "It's not that simple." And is it not that simple choosing between carousels or reels? How do we decide? What's your creative process? Let me know. What content are you prioritizing? Carousels or reels? And again, shout out to Hootsuite for this. Oh, we still got some Feel Good Friday comments coming in. Aw, Chris got a little stray cat fix to help stop the spread of so many kittens in the neighborhood, and she's cute as a button. That is what a heart you have, Chris. That's awesome. Kevin, I had Gaga tickets for a show in Vegas in 2019. When we landed in Vegas, we saw Gwen Stefani was also doing a residency, so the Gaga trip. Yes, that's what you have to do in Vegas because there's so many people there at the same time. Kevin, you understood the assignment. So what content are you prioritizing, carousels or reels? How are you approaching this? Let me know your thoughts. Decisions. Rachel knows from experience. Okay, Rachel, I'm going to screenshot this right now and send it to my friend as part of my peer pressure campaign. Okay? Thank you for helping the cause. If anyone else has any thoughts, let me know. Okay. Corey. Corey says, for my clients, small to mid-sized nonprofits with limited teams, carousels are less difficult lift than reels. Okay. Yeah. Just thinking about the resources that you have and what you're able to do with the time and the lift that um, you have available. Not a video person and not the greatest at editing. So I like carousels. Yeah. And there's always a great Canva template, right? that we could edit for those carousels. But Sima says, prioritizing reels as they can also be posted to TikTok and YouTube Shorts. She's got a point. We love short-term video these days. We keep hearing about it. Corey says, but I will say people all absorb information differently. So presenting info in both ways can be important. Yeah, Corey, I'm with you on this because that was kind of my answer is both, which is terrible. I was hoping that there was a shortcut in here somewhere, but I personally like to do a carousel first because then you can kind of get all of your thoughts out and, really kind of plan what you're trying to say. And then you can turn that carousel into a reel and you're not just spitballing. You have a little bit of a plan. And that carousel, depending on what the content is, you could break out each slide in that carousel to its own video. And then you have 5 more pieces of micro content. Like, got a lot of options here. But Benjamin says, I think reels tend to perform better, but people do love photo dumps too. Oh, yeah, we're talking about, yeah, photo dump carousels. Okay. Yeah. I was picturing more like branded, sort of informational carousels, but you're right. People do love to do that. And Instagram is pushing hard with the fact that you can add music to carousels now. So it kind of feels like a reel almost. You've got something, some dynamic audio. Rachel says, this question implies that I'm posting both carousels and reels, and I haven't posted since December. But if I was going to, and I will again, it would be reels. Okay. Showing up on camera, Rachel. Chris says, personally, a huge fan of video. However, in a company with pretty heavy legal review of all content, carousels are easier to get up and out. Yes. And they're easier to make edits too, also. I mean, we've talked about editing, but someone can just say, change the text on this slide. Whereas if you said something in a video that they want changed, you got to refilm it, like, or edit it out somehow. That is, it's a little bit harder. I do love a LinkedIn carousel, have a pretty neat look and feel. Yeah, they seem to be doing well. And I love how LinkedIn carousels are taller now. They take up more of your screen and they look great on mobile. So yeah, interesting feedback on this, guys. Thank you so much. Any other thoughts? Let me know. But shout out to Hootsuite for inspiring this question. And Chris, while we're on that note, you said you love video. So I would love to see you do, this is what I do. I always give people I know, I give them homework as if they're one of my students, but I know you're reading 1 book a year this year. So why not give us a little real recap, possibly? Let me know. I know that's personal content and not some for your job and you're super busy. Okay. Couple more things. Instagram is testing downvotes. Thoughts on this? I have to read this quote about this change. Oh, sorry. This should be a social media today logo. But so it's not about agreeing or disagreeing with a comment, nor voting down misinformation. It's more about addressing harmful remarks, which Adam Mosseri says could help create a more friendly environment in the app. So a downvote isn't like disagree. It's more about addressing harmful remarks. So if you're downvoting something, you're basically telling someone that what they said felt harmful to you. I have thoughts. Sima, book talk, bookstagram, and book threads are hugely popular for readers in the group. Yes. Love that idea. And I'm about to set up a studio-ish space. Yes. Okay. Hold on. Let me get to my question. So, what are your predictions about downvotes? Christian is already talking about it. Downvotes are a bad idea. Too much hate in the world right now. Yeah. And what's interesting to me is that they, judging by this quote, they're trying to create a more friendly environment, but this is kind of like just adding fuel. This is feeding the trolls, in my opinion, especially since it's not about agree or disagree. It's basically like, downvote, you hurt my feelings. And you're giving that troll the satisfaction of knowing that what you said, what they said got to you. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. Corey says downvotes are the worst. I was part of a social network that had downvotes, and it would turn into a fight about who downvoted who and why. Just say no to downvotes. Yeah, there's probably going to be an app that shows up now where you can like see the person, like see who downvoted you. You know, those apps and those tools where you can see like who unfollowed you. Like, no, I don't care. Let's keep moving forward. Polly says it's going to cause confusion. People are super sensitive right now, and this is not going to work. Yeah, and if you have to downvote something to tell someone that what they said was harmful, do you really think that that's going to change that person? Like they're going to fundamentally be like, "Oh no, I hurt this person's feelings. I'm going to stop." Like, no, they know what they're doing. They know that they're that they're saying something nasty. Like that's their goal. So, I don't want to feed the trolls. I'm not a fan of this. And again, who asked for this? Did we ask for this? Can we think of anything else that we want Instagram to do instead? Can we think of a million other things that would have been better? If you have ideas, let me know. But that's just like an evergreen thing. Like, who asked for this? Are we listening to the audience, as you all have been saying? It appears not. Okay. Justin, not every feature is meant to be copied. Let Reddit have that one. Yes, it does work on Reddit. Reddit is just so transparent and unapologetic. And I think also the majority of people on Reddit are already anonymous. So yeah, that's kind of like the Wild West where we can keep it all there. Reddit downvotes make comments or content less visible. Ooh, I did not know that. Courting the trolls. Yep. Don't feed them, just ignore, mute, block, all the things. Sima's got ideas. Give us a better business suite experience and forget the downvote. So downvoting is valid for mis and disinformation and actually harmful content, but abuse of it to attack users is not good. Yeah. I just don't get their rationale behind this. Like, yeah, I like that if you're using a downvote to flag information. Then again, community notes is becoming a thing sort of everywhere now. So who needs it? Who needs this negativity? We don't need this energy. So yeah. Thank you all for your thoughts on this. Let's wrap up with some helping hands, something you need help with right now. Let us know. Michelle, your birthday was Wednesday? Did I text you? Wait, Michelle, I think I texted you like on your birthday about something else. I texted you about the sphere. And if it was your birthday that day and I was texting you completely oblivious and you didn't tell me, no, I texted you on Thursday, last Thursday. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. Happy birthday, Michelle. Reddit upvotes makes videos of my dogs more visible, as it should. As it should. Why aren't those on LinkedIn? We need them on LinkedIn as well, Kevin. So helping hands, let us know what you need help with right now. I want you guys to connect and spread the love and not downvote each other. We're going to keep the good vibes going. But other than that, everyone, yeah, Chris has got some thoughts. Downvotes seem like such a lazy way to participate on Instagram. You have a comment field, use that. Yes, and I feel that way about the like button too. Like if you truly like something, why not, just tell someone. Likes are so passive. Is chivalry dead, Oh, Sima, I didn't know this. I was recently impacted by the layoffs. I'm job hunting. If anyone has leads on director, VP level marketing strategy, social media, content, and brand marketing roles, I'm available. Okay, good to know. Good to know, Sima. I will keep a lookout. Are you looking for a certain industry? I know you worked in publishing. More pet pics on LinkedIn. We've got the video of the dog. I will be looking at that. So many of you are job hunting. I wish there was something more I could do here with Pop Chat. Maybe I'll try to post some roles and do some research and put those out there. Amber Polly still looking for furniture for her apartment. I'm trying to think where to direct you for that, Amber Polly. Yeah, I don't know. But when it is furnished, keep us posted. I'm sure it'll look amazing. And you could always go like antiquing. That's fun. Or go thrifting and find some cool little gems and refurnish them, like all those people on TikTok that do that. And it's just the coolest thing. So, yeah. All right. Pop Chat job board. Yes, we got to bring that back. I know Olivia and her Yenta list, I don't think she's doing it anymore. She's got a lot going on. Open to other industries. Publishing chapter is over. Okay. Spread the word about my freelancing business, McElwain Ventures, SEO. Yes, we need SEO. Still looking for work, tech PR space, and worked for a decade with T-Mobile. I've been keeping the lookout, guys. I think you all are amazing. And yeah, we've got to figure out a job board or something. I will keep you posted. As far as helping hands for me, if you haven't already, check out my newsletter. I'll see you next week. Oh, I had a little bonus question. What is something you're really into right now? What's the good word? What are we watching? What are we reading? What are we obsessed with? Going off into the weekend. I'm one episode into the Gabby Petito Netflix doc. I started it earlier this week. Then my husband was out of town and I couldn't watch the rest without him. That's how this works. So we're going to continue it tonight. But yeah, let us know something you're into right now. Chris, yes. Chris, thank you. Job hunters, hang in there. I was out for 7 months. It sucked, but keep talking and ask for help. Yes, Chris, I appreciate you saying that. Benjamin, still job hunting as well. Entry-level leads are greatly appreciated, or even just networking with people in the entertainment space. Okay, keeping this in mind. Yeah. Benjamin, I'm going to message you about something. I think I've messaged you about this company before, but I will reach out again. New community. Ooh, exploring your new community and making a list of restaurants to try. That's the best. That is the best. I've only been living in the city I live in now for 2 years, and it still feels like, we're trying not to try the same restaurant twice because there's so many. Paradise on Hulu. I'll have to check that out. Severance, Lost Flashbacks. Yeah, glad it's back. Fourth Wing book series. Okay. Guys, this is a win for me. I think I told you I'm in a book club and we're on the second book. It's fiction. I really read fiction and I'm liking it. And I'm listening to it, I should say. And I've never been able to listen to fiction. The book is called The Wedding People, if anyone's read it. All right. Have a great weekend, Chris. We're going to have a great weekend. It's Friday. Hollywood Squares. Awesome. All right, everyone. Oh, I need to start the new season of White Lotus. Where does it take place again? Like Thailand or something? That is on our list. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for joining. Happy Friday. Have an amazing weekend. You all were super engaging and interesting and smart and fun as always. And I will, yay for listening. I'll see you next week. Chris, it's really with a little baby at home these days, it's the only way I can get through anything. So it counts, right? We're adding them to the Goodreads. Appreciate it. Thailand. Okay, I am pumped. I've got to watch it. All right, everyone. I will see you next week. Thank you so much for participating and enjoy your weekend. Bye.